like if you've noticed, I'm getting to these press conferences, and these media events at a higher frequency. This is the highest, this is the most press events I've been to in this short period of time, and we're going to continue. For example, I got approved for Berto versus Porter next week. I'm going to be at the fight, and I'm not going to be sick. So I'm really interested in being able to get a couple questions in when Danny Jacobs is going to be there. Keith Thurman is going to be there. Adrian Broner likely going to be there. No telling who's going to be there next week. So I got to interview Jay Prince this week. That right there was just legendary to me. I talked to him a little bit before I actually started like interviewing him. Kovalev was on some old fucking mean ass shit. We're gonna talk about that. Andre Ward, cool dude. Andre Ward's confidence is real. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. So now I'm just trying to, put it this way. Everything is going well. Everything's falling into place. So next week, we're covering 2 fights. I'm going to be at Berto versus Porter, and one of our correspondents is going to be at Kurtzidis versus Langford over in the UK. That's for the WBO interim at 160. So it's going to be a busy week. I'm hyped. Ward is a goof. You will cry up some BS when Kovalev wins. No, that's not how I roll. That's not how I roll. It's not how I roll. I had went to sleep for a little minute. So normally when I go to sleep, especially since I'm like sleeping with the air conditioner on now, I'll be having all this phlegm. So that's why I'm like drinking this to break, coming down with a cold. I'm hyped for the playoffs this weekend, especially that Houston Thunder. Shit gonna be lit. But we got the Ricky Burns fight tomorrow for the IBF and the WBA. It's gonna be lit. So we're gonna start talking boxing in 8 minutes, maybe a little less. We're just waiting for more people to trickle in. Oh yeah, when I'm fucking talking to you, I'm supposed to be fucking sharing the video around. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. In this meantime, instead you're running your mouth. But yeah, we're getting the fights at like a higher frequency now. Shit is really taking off. I wake up happy every day. Don't get me wrong. I'm undersexed, but for the most part I'm happy. Hold on, I'm sharing the video around. So for the next 8 minutes, I tell you what, let's do it this way. For the next 8 minutes, let's do a Q&A. All right. And then instead of doing a Q&A at the end of the video, we do it at the beginning. So therefore we get in the video with boxing. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about. We're talking about Ward versus Kovalev. We're going to talk about Berto versus Porter, Canelo versus Chavez. Then we're going to squeeze in Burns versus Ndangu, Crawford versus Diaz, Joshua versus Klitschko. Shannon Briggs versus Fresno Quindo has a date June the 3rd down in Florida. And so on and so on, or whatever we can squeeze in. So pause. That's what she said. And then we'll just go from there. So where should we start? I was at the press conference for Ward-Kovalev, the first one in New York this week. There was 3 of them. There was one in New York on Monday. Tuesday they did Oakland, and then Wednesday they did LA. You know, so I was at the Monday one. Kovalev was irritable. He was pissed off. You know, he said he was pissed off because he was up all night flying in. You know, so he tried to smack my camera away. You know, so because the flash was on in his eyes. But then, you know, he calmed down a little bit, and then he did answer my question. That was whack. You know? Andre Ward just was on some, like, basically, I was watching, like, the whole, like, mannerisms of the fighter. You know how people be saying, oh, they scared or they nervous or, you know, such and such looked away first? I was looking, like, at both of their mannerisms. Like, Andre Ward was on some cool shit. He was just on some, yeah, you know, I won, I'm going to beat him again. I didn't get the inkling of a feeling that he really thought that he lost the fight. He just was on some cool shit. Even when it came to the face-off, did you notice that each face-off, the one in New York, the one in Oakland, and the one in LA, he made sure that he did not look away, and he made sure he held his stance. Did you notice that during those face-offs? Did you notice that he was making sure he was not the first one, and he would even linger there for a while and to make sure he kept facing off? Now, people would say, oh, well, you know, Kovalev was scared and all that stuff. Nah, Kovalev was just on some irritable shit, you know? Now, people say that may work against him because it's like Ward is in his head. But Kovalev is really on some mad shit, you know? He really pissed. I don't know if it's because he be drunk. You know how Virgil Hunter said, you know, let's talk about that. This is a perfect time to listen to it. Let's talk about that. I'm not going to play the whole interview because it's like 7 minutes long, but I have heard about Kovalev's drinking issues before, you know, or alleged drinking issues. You know, I've heard about it before. You know, so we're going to get into all the details, and then we're going to talk about basically oh, I didn't pass the shit. My bad. I love technology, man. Yeah, my light was too bright. I didn't upload. I'm gonna upload that video to my Instagram. It was funny because it was almost like he was trying to smack my camera, so I didn't want no problems with him. So I pulled it back real fast, and I'm thinking like, oh, like, what if he would have had like smacked my camera? I would have had to say something, right? Then he would have knocked me the fuck out. But at least I said something, you know. At least I would have said something. I would have been asleep. I was asleep. Damn, where's it at? I'm looking for it. God damn it. You're gonna give me a minute. But anyway, before I play it, it's breaking up. Before I play it, Virgil Hunter was talking about how basically, to paraphrase, he heard some shit through the grapevine, you know, about Kovalev's drinking and that Kovalev can't be drinking all day, every day, and think he's going to beat somebody like Andre Ward. But he's Russian. That's stolen. And it's like, put it this way. Now, I understand, like, I'm not saying it racially. I'm not saying it racially. I'm saying it like It's like, right, if you African and you don't got no knife. How you don't got no knife? You're not real African. Or if it's like if you Mexican and you don't got the Last Supper, like, you know, I'm real Mexican. I'm half Mexican, half Irish, and half black. But it's like if you don't have a Virgin Mary and the Last Supper hanging up on your wall. Or if it's like if you black, you don't got no garlic salt and or garlic powder in your crib with some seasoned salt. You Russian, bro. Of course you're gonna have some vodka somewhere. I'm not trying to be racist. How you Russian and you don't got no vodka? That's they water. that's they shit. That's they shit over there. So of course he can be drunk and still fight. You know? How you Jamaican, you don't got no weed? How you Jamaican, you don't got no weed? That's right, Baldel's fights this week too on pay-per-view. Thank God I'm going to Berto versus Porter. I have to buy that. You Jamaican, you don't got no pot. Where your pot at? Yeah, okay, it's kind of racist. My bad. My bad. I don't mean to be. I'm not trying to be racist though. Maybe I'm just being ignorant. You know? Oh no, Brett, nah, you going too far, yo. But yeah, like I said, I don't think that Kovalev like was afraid or anything. He just was also irritable. And then you got to think a press tour is hard on you, you know. Then you're flying across 2 different time zones, maybe 3, depending on where Kovalev was coming from. He lives down in Florida. You know, so you have a press tour in 3 different cities in 3 different days. You see what I'm saying? So, but just listening to him, even like the fact that he was speaking Russian, like at each press conference, and remember, I got to edit and upload all these shits. So I'm watching this shit meticulously, not because I'm wanting to, because I have to, because I'm editing it. So I'm watching in every little bit and piece, and I'm like, yo, dude is really on some irritable shit. He just don't want to be there. So he on some shit like, I can't wait to knock you the fuck out. And then Andre Ward is just holding his own, like holding his ground on some like, yeah, I beat you before and I'm gonna beat you again. So this fight's gonna be lit. This fight's gonna be lit because you have these, like, there's real, you know, Kathy Duvis said it. She said there's real animosity there this time. There's real animosity there. You know, so another thing that Virtual Hunter pointed out is that they didn't get to do no road work. Let me put the damn interview on. Shut the hell up. And also, I want to put some lemon juice. I want to make a fresh cup. I'm drinking like lots of tea, yo. This is just generic green tea though, but it's pretty good. Actually, it's like the brand above the generic shit. So the generic was 2 for $6, $3. But I got the box that was $4.69. So I like to stay like in that little mid-level and shit. You know? What was I looking for? Oh. So yeah, the fight is June 17th. Tickets are on sale. Click the link right down below in the description box, fightview360.com, to buy tickets for the fight. There it is. I could have just did this on my phone. This is my damn phone. So I want to go make a fresh cup. I'm gonna squeeze some lemon into this. So we're gonna watch. I'll let you listen to the most important parts of this. But basically, it's 7 minutes long. But we're likely not going to listen to the whole 7 minutes. You see, I did the little Rocky shit. I did that on purpose with the cheesy gloves. I wanted to be cheesy. I'll be back.
Dangerous and most feared light heavyweight in the world, Sergey Kovalev, against a lucky, victorious man in Andre Ward. You know, got a gift in November. So I guess this fight here pretty much settled it. I think if you look at the realistic facts, I think only Sergey's been on the media talking. I think Mr. Klinger should understand that we haven't said a word, but it's been from ending people's careers to knocking you out to insulting God Almighty. All that's coming from this side. So we understand what goes on. And I think it's a lot of doubt, it's a lot of anger. I don't see Coach Jackson here today. And to be honest, I don't expect to see him June 17th because you got to put the blame somewhere. And
Berto, just like we didn't see you yesterday in New York, we're not seeing John here today because he has a fight this weekend. He's training his fighter. We'll see you in June. Don't worry about it.
I'm here today.
We know
That's all. I'm here today.
All right, well, you weren't there yesterday. What was the problem?
I'll wait till you finish. You done? Okay. I don't see Coach Jackson here today. We'll deal with that situation a little further on down the road that I'm sure will upheave the whole boxing world. See, there's some things that go on in this game that when you have the right channels and you have the right avenues, you get information quite accurately.
This is the important part.
And we'll reveal that later on down the road. But I'm looking for a real good fight. Sergey Kovalev is definitely not underestimated. I don't have a problem saying that before we fought, I was a fan of his. I'm still a fan of his. I just won't be a fan of his on June 17th. But I am a fan of his. No doubt, this is not me blowing smoke. I admire his skill. I always knew that if we came across each other, that it was going to be a tough fight, difficult fight, and a fight of attrition. And I expect the same thing. June 17th, I think Andre said it best when he said somebody's will is going to be broke in that fight. But it would be nice to go into that fight without lighting the hand and veggie. Everybody's an expert, from the reporters to the announcers, when it comes to judging a fight. But those who are trained to do it and right there to do it, all of a sudden they were all wrong that night. So I think that's an insult to what goes on in boxing. I think it wasn't right. I think it was wrong, particularly since HBO has built Sergey into a star that he rightfully is. But I think he felt that same cushion was going to bail him out in a fight. And like I said before, and I'll say today, I'll challenge anybody to sit with me and show me where he won the fight. Anybody to sit with me.
I'll sit with you, Virgil.
Where he won the fight. He fought a hell of a fight. because he's a hell of a fighter. But he didn't win the fight. So I guess all the answers will be answered June 17th. My advice is relax, don't be uptight, but you can't drink year in and year out and expect at some point for it not to catch up to you. And I would bet money that if we could go internally inside, that's one of the causes that is causing him to fatigue now. It's not the overtraining, it's not this and it's not that. It's the same guys, just that guys are standing up and going 12 rounds now. I mean, that happens in boxing. But you can't drink vodka year in and year out and expect on fight night to fight somebody like Dre. And incidentally, if I could just have one excuse against the many that came, we didn't even get to run for that fight to make sure the fight happened. It's no secret that, we're battling some issues, and we didn't even get to run for that fight. So we fought him without no road work, which is true. So thank God that we're able to put some time on the road now, and hopefully that will end up in a more convincing manner for those who are fans. When you're a fan of a fighter, you only look at that fighter. And that's the problem that we have with our reporters and critics today. They're in love with Sergey because of the way he does things. He knocks people out. So when you are a fan of that particular individual, that's who you're going to watch. When it's fight, you're not going to look at the fight objectively like you're supposed to. That goes for the announcers, critics, and everybody else. It's a big Euro movement going on in the States now. And that push is really an insult to the American fighters, but it is what it is. It's not their fault. It's our fault. So until we have our people who report the fight rightfully get behind us, it'll continue to be this way. Thank everybody once again.
Okay, so what I took from that is there was 3 parts of the press tour. As I said, in New York, LA, and hold on 1 minute. New York, LA, and Oakland. He wasn't at the one in New York, so therefore he just he took a shot. He took shots at John David Jackson before at the first fight. Now he's taking shots at John David Jackson again. So they got some beef. This is not the first time he took a shot at him. So then Kathy Duval was like, "Hold up, well, you wasn't there in New York. You talking about him not being here?" Called him out on it. The second thing is, why Virgil Hunter always said like he want to cry. Like, did you notice when he be in the corners, he don't be laboring with his breath, but when he be on the podium, it seemed like almost every press conference he's having a hard time. He be getting real emotional. Don't get me wrong, he be preaching. He be spitting the gospel. But sometimes it just seems like he be having a hard time. So the controversy in that is that he feels, that the reason why Kovalev be gassing out is because Kovalev be drunk. T's still on that bullshit. You said Ward won the fight. I do feel like Ward won the first fight. Barely, but I do feel like he won. But we're not here to talk about that. But I like how he threw that shot in there, about haha, no pun intended. I got a chance to talk to Kovalev, and when he calmed down, and I asked him about his conditioning, like, will he come into the fight, lighter? He said that he gassed out after 5 rounds. And then Kathy Duva was like, he overtrained. Basically, people basically, this could be a solid case that he overtrained. But look at it like this: if he say he gassed out after round 5, he was looking pretty good. But at the same time, you could tell that he was gassed and he slowed down, because remember, what round was that where his body gave out and he just fell over? So you can tell that he was gassed out. Not gassed out, but you can tell that he was slowing down. But he said he just was like done. He was fighting on fumes. But no matter what you say, like, you got to give Kovalev his respect, especially if he was one of those people that said Andre Ward was the best boxer in the world. Kovalev could box his ass off. Like, he's got the jab. He's got the only thing you don't see from Kovalev is the uppercut. But outside of that, he's got a nice set of punches. He's got some nice punch variety. And he doesn't really have too many hooks to the body. He's more of a straight punch to the body. To whereas an Andre Ward, he was showing all aspects of his game. Not really an uppercut as well, but he was showing more all aspects. And also, for them to say Virgil Hunter, another thing we took out of that interview is that, or that press conference, is that Virgil Hunter, was saying they didn't get to do any road work. So listening to Andre Ward, throughout the week, they're saying they're going to correct and do what they did the second half of the fight in the first half of the fight. So they plan on doing, some movement. And because remember the first fight, a lot of people felt that Andre Ward was going to tie him up and try to make it a dirty fight and fight him on the inside. That didn't work. So it's looking like Andre Ward is going to plan on using his movement and his boxing ability and angles, and maybe going to the body from the beginning, because he was starting to beat him like a drum the second half of the fight. Ward did look surprised when he heard the decision, but at the same time, he didn't look worried either before he heard the decision, did he? He didn't look worried. He just was walking around like he wasn't like knowing like, oh yeah, I'm sure I won, but he was walking around like, well, damn, that's a close fight. Do I mean Ward's going to run? No, I'm not saying that. But at the same time, in this day and age, if you're a real hardcore boxing fan, you can't use the word run. I don't consider it running, especially if you're using effective ring generalship. What Lady Lara did in the Canelo fight was borderline running. Why? It's because he wasn't throwing enough punches. Keith Thurman, when he got hit with that body shot from Luis Collazo and from Sean Porter, he ran for a little bit. Just a little bit, because he had to get away. He couldn't fight on the back foot. So it all depends on how you look at it. But either way, for a fight of this magnitude, I don't want to hear nothing about no fucking running, man. I don't want to hear about no running. Like, okay, it's like this. I don't look at boxing like that. I look at it like it's the sweet science. See what I'm saying? Who do I got? I got Andre Ward. But at the same time, I am afraid for him. Because if Kovalev was able to do that with just hitting him with the mitten part of the glove, knocking his ass down, what if that connected with the whole front of the fist? Kovalev is not going to be fucking around, but at the same time, that maybe would. See, Andre Ward is a very skilled fighter with a high ring IQ. So therefore, in his mind, if he barely beat you, or for the many fans' eyes, he didn't win, imagine how a mind like that is going to adjust if he gets a second crack at you. This second fight is also about a battle of ring IQ as well. Because now Andre Ward knows, like, if he's as good as he's supposed to be, and he says he is, and people feel that he is, then he will adjust and he'll make sure that he gets to win the second time. Remember when Floyd Mayweather fought Marcus Lee down in the first fight? I had that first fight a draw, but guess what? Floyd looked at it like, well, if people think that it was if there's people that think that I didn't beat him, you see what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna make sure the second time I beat him. Just like he did with Castillo. What did Floyd do the second fight with McDonald? Even though it was a close fight, he made sure he beat him. It was only a close fight by what? That Mayweather McDonald fight was what? Let me think. Let me remember. Like 8-4, something like that. Could have been 7-5. No, I would say like there was some close rounds, but Floyd was on his bike. Wasn't running, but he was making sure that he wasn't staying on those ropes. You think Floyd has enough to put Sergey down? No. That's what I'm scared of. Because they're talking about, Andre Ward wasn't saying it. He was alluding to the fact that they have to stop Kovalev, but that's not in Andre Ward. If Andre Ward stops Kovalev, that's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. I'm hyped for this fight. Rigondeaux is going to be on the undercard, but the undercard is not going to be too great, you know, because of the lack of fighters in both stables. Also, from my understanding, Ward and his team knew that they were going to be taking the fight. You know, so all the stuff about him, he did say that, yes, he was really considering retirement, so that he's kind of saying that he was thinking about, yeah, I would settle with this. But from my understanding, that they were waiting for other money, not other money outside of the contract, but other money as far as whatever money they're getting from title or whatever money they're getting from Monster as far as sponsorship money. So now that Ward is the A side, remember, Andre Ward is the A side. So just like Mayweather, right? If you would see any type of, you know, advertisements on the fight, Ward is getting something from that. That's my understanding, that he making sure, or his team, James Prince, is making sure that they're getting something from that. So for what I took from this week is they wasn't trying to get money from the from like what was in the contract, but as far as doing a better job than Kovalev's team, than getting him sponsorships, I guess, or sponsorship money, if that makes sense. Kathy Duva even admitted, talking to HBO, that it wasn't that you know, Andre Ward was ducking. She didn't say those exact words, but she was saying that Rock Nation just would not talk to main events. They was like, we're the A side, you know, we'll announce the fight when we're ready, and we'll sign a contract when we're ready. So the contract was always there, but Rock Nation wasn't getting back to main events and letting them know what's going on with Andre Ward. It wasn't returning phone calls or anything. You know, so once HBO June 17th date came about, that's when, you know, like we knew, or as far as boxing media, and you should have known yourself that, okay, well, we know that that's the date. HBO has that pay-per-view, so somebody's talking to somebody with HBO. You think there's a rematch clause for the second fight? Nope. This was the rematch clause. It's not going to be another rematch clause. This is the contract. It was a two-fight contract. So then what if Kovalev beats Ward? You're going too far ahead. I wouldn't be surprised if Ward retires though. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. They will only do a third fight if the fight is like super successful. But also Kovalev is so loved by the sanctioning bodies that they'll make him the mandatory for one of those belts again. And then Ward, if he beats him, would be able to say, well, I beat him twice. So, I'll drop a belt just not to fight him again. People don't want to see it, So there's so many different ways and scenarios, like, that they can play out. So many different ways they can play out. I am going to play some video games tonight, though. I'm definitely going to do that. I haven't had, like, no me time for real. Everything. That's what it is now, like running a business and shit. I keep forgetting, like, if stuff don't get done, I'm the guy at the top. So, if something don't get done, then it's like, oh shit, you the fucking guy that's in charge of shit. You gotta get that shit done. So I'm gonna take me some me time because I have no more time off for like a while. Ward doesn't have a crowd pleasing style, but at the same time, he has a boxing fans pleasing style somewhat, doesn't he? But that's the thing, for these fighters to talk big money, talk and everything, they got to be big money fighters. Put it this way. For this rematch, right? Right. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. Right? Is Andre Ward's Rock Nation's #1 boxer? Jay-Z couldn't show up to one press conference? They couldn't have like a little fucking flat screen, like a 40, 50-inch flat screen, and they have Jay-Z there via satellite, some shit. Can we get Jay-Z thoughts on the fight? How about that? How about that? So, but it's like this, like I understand. David Peterson says Jay-Z got so much stuff going on to you, but guess what? This is so much stuff. Your #1 boxer is fighting in the rematch of his life, in the fight of his life. And it's like, you see what I'm saying? So this is should be somewhat high priority on his list, right? This should be somewhat high priority on Rock Nation sports list, right? 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 Just my personal opinion. Imagine, right? This is some more wishful thinking type shit. If Jay-Z, walked into the press conference and shit on that little rooftop balcony type shit. Allow me to reintroduce myself. Boom, 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 boom. That shit would have been lit. Oh, then he bring out Andre Ward. Andre Ward got on that Jordan shit, that exclusive Jordan shit. Imagine if he did some shit like that. Like if they had the press conference, like if they really wanted to show, yeah, Andre Ward, you A-side now, bro. Main events was A-side the last time. Because remember the first press conference, Andre Ward didn't even show up to it for the first fight. So imagine they said, all right, we're going to show how A-side you is, bro. Had the fucking press conference in Times Square. Had all this Illuminati symbolism and shit. Have Andre Ward just sitting there without the Jordan gear. Then Jay come out. Jay come out. Shit would have been crazy. They would have really showed who's A-side then. Would have put Floyd to shame. They would have really showed who was A-side then. Right? But no. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. We ain't even seen Andre Ward belts. Why you ain't bring the belts, bro? You know what? What is going on with these promotional companies these days? Did you notice that Klitschko, whenever he had the belts, he took him everywhere? Did you notice that Golovkin take his belts everywhere? Like they be laid out like right on the table. Where your gold at? Keith Thurman don't be having his belts either. Why these fighters don't be having their belts? We didn't see none of Andre Ward gold this week. You supposed to be rubbing that gold in his face. You supposed to be rubbing that gold in Kovalev's face. I bet you he'd be drinking more vodka. He put him on the gram. I know that ain't shit. I'm talking about at the press conferences. He's going to have somebody walking in, one person holding the case. Ward don't need. It's not about the. It's about the symbolism of it. It's about selling the fight. He say those his belts. You got them now. If my fighters got belts, you showing up with the belts. Somebody's carrying those belts, and we're going to display them everywhere. You're taking face-offs. Did you know? Why am I just noticing this? Why am I just noticing this? ESN is better, real talk. Oh shit, dude coming in here throwing body shots. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, why am I just noticing this? How you doing face-offs? You got 3 belts, bro. How you doing face-offs? And you supposed to have them belts hoisted up, looking at you. One around your waist, one on his shoulder. Somebody holding the other ones behind you. What the hell is going on out here? Don't make no sense. Do you think there'll be an HBO face-off for this fight? Yes, there will be. There's got to be a face-off for this fight. Right? Maybe they think it's too much work. No, but that's bad publicity, though. If you think about it, it's not about it being too much work. Those photos, like, yo, you know how iconic those photos are? You got those. It's press. You're on a press tour, though. You're saying you the light heavyweight champion of the world, but you don't got no belts. You're not. Where your belts at? Oh yeah, well, where your belts? Oh, I left them home, cuz. Where the hell is your belts at? This shit is crazy. Shit is crazy. Kovalev would have been really drinking it. You know how pissed off he would have been sitting looking? You know, if Andre Ward's sitting there the same way he was facing off, sitting there, but he holding his belts. I got your belts, bro. They mine now. They ain't going nowhere. Okay, you know what, Marcus Phoenix? You got one more smart-ass hoe. Oh, no, you know what? I forgot. I can't block this Marcus Phoenix dude because you know why? Because he a hoe. And he one of the people that actually I get paid the most money off of because he continuously watches my videos. Every single one. And he say he don't like me. So I can't block you, bro. I love you, man. The highly coveted IBO belt. Mikkel Kessler back. Mikkel Kessler back. Now, do you think, I mean, here's the thing. I think, oh, okay, let me start this way. If they're not having an HBO 24/7 for Canelo versus Chavez, then I'm pretty sure they're not going to have one for Kovalev versus Ward. They already had one for Kovalev versus Ward, but they're not going to have one for Ward versus Kovalev. They may have one episode, but not the 3 like they used to. You know, that's why I can't wait till I get this whole, you know. Wait till I start promoting fights. Give me like 2 more years. I'm already building a team. I've been reaching out to people in like Philly. You know, people that are like, you know, like rappers and shit like that. I'm putting together a nice little team. Wait till you start promoting fights, yo. Shit's gonna be lit. Promote the shit out these fights. Going to the Boxing Expo, the one in May. There's one in May that I'm heading to down in Atlantic City. Mike Tyson's supposed to be there. No, there's one in May in Atlantic City too. No, I'm not going to Vegas in May. I'm going to Vegas twice this year. I just don't know when yet. And if I do go, I'm only going for like 1 day. You know, I'm gonna go for like the weigh-in and the fight, and then I'm getting the fuck out of there. I don't want to be out there. So I could go to Kovalev versus Ward. I already did enough work to get in, but that's in June. I don't know if I'm ready for that in June. Maybe if there's a fight in Vegas in July, which I doubt, it could be. You know, definitely maybe August. You know, but I need to start making sure that I work on Mayweather versus McGregor, though. If there's any fight I go to in Vegas for a couple days, it need to be that, right? You know, there's no excuses now. I can get out there for 2 days. I literally can just get a ticket, get a little fucking hotel room, bring my black ass home. Yeah, it's hot as hell in June, I heard, out in Vegas. I'm going to die. Yeah, I don't really feel like dying. Yeah, PBC is going through some shit right now, man. And it's like this. Understand that me as a media member, you know, I want more boxing. I want PBC to succeed. You got weirdos and just basically fucking, they're the real coons actually that think that because Al Heyman is black, I don't want him to succeed. That's nowhere near the case. It's just that because I'm black, I'm not supposed to call out the problems. You see what I'm saying? That's why, you know, as I say, a lot of other black-run channels, they get into trouble because they tell motherfuckers shit that's not true. Why? Because they try to stick with, well, I'm black, gotta rob a black narrative. That shit don't get you nowhere. You know, tell us shit like it is, or you're going to end up looking like a dickhead. And your supporters are going to look like dickheads for believing the shit you were saying. BBC's been had some issues. You know, and the issues was, I can see what they were trying to do. They were putting the A-side versus J-side matchups because the A-side versus J-side matchups produce knockouts. You see what I'm saying? They produce knockouts. And imagine, right, if you're trying to gain new fans, right? You're trying to gain new fans, right? And you're flicking through, you never watched boxing before a day in your life. You flicking through channels, right? Then you say, oh, boxing is on NBC on a Saturday night? What is this? And you see this A-side fighter beating the dog shit, you know, out of this fucking J fighter. And you're like, oh, this shit is crazy. But at the same time, they were alienating the hardcore fans and the media. You see what I'm saying? So now that they're putting together the A-side versus the A-side or the A-side versus the B-side matchups, it's like it's too late. You should have did that from the beginning, or they should have started with a tournament. You know? So I like from a business standpoint, I see what they was trying to do. I saw what they was trying to do. You know, but now, you know, it's rough because Heyman's got so many fighters. And still there's so many fighters that are on the shelf. But he overpaid too many of these fighters. And now he can't just say, well, you got to take a pay cut. I paid you fucking the same amount of money for fighting this East Side fighter. But now I want you to fight a Seaside fighter. And I want you to make 100,000 less. See what I'm saying? It was weird. It was weird. it was weird, yo. And then these guys was getting title shots. It was weird. You was looking like, how the fuck is these fighters making this money? It was weird, yo. But see, it's like this. You know, what was going on is, and the crazy thing was, there was like this war, and it's kind of still going on, where you have what is considered, which they're really not really, I've learned, which is considered like official media going against what was called the new media. The new media was known as like the Black Panther Nation of Domination, you know, like fucking YouTubers basically, who was riding with the racial narrative of, well, the white media or the supposed to be official media don't want Al Heyman to succeed because she's black, but they wasn't no better because they was bending the facts about the shit that was going on. It was kind of like the OJ case a little bit. I know I'm kind of reaching a little bit, but follow what I'm saying. It's like a lot of black motherfuckers knew that OJ looked guilty as much. They was like, yo, he looked guilty as shit. But they was like, oh, that fucking racist cop. Like, fuck that. You're not going to, so what? You know, you're not going to get fucking OJ because you got that racist cop. It was kind of weird. It was weird. It's weird like that. You know, so the point I'm trying to make is those problems with PBC was always there. We saw this shit. You know, it's like, how they paying all these fighters all this money with no sponsors? Why do they got this blue room and this red room? Why are they trying to hide the belts? You know, why are they fucking having the fighters not coming out with their fucking people? Why did they hire Hans Zimmerman? You know, the guy who did the Batman song, you know, the Batman soundtrack. There was a whole bunch of shit that it was like, wait a minute, where is this? And then the news just kept coming out about, you know, the investors' money. You know, it just was weird, yo. It just was weird. Will Friday night fights ever return? Not see, this is what I liked about Friday night fights. The old Friday night fights used to be for all promoters. Now the Friday night fights we see now is only Golden Boy fighters. Before it was only Heyman fighters. We won't get nothing like that anymore, man. Boxing is fucked up right now. I'm talking about on a political thing, on a political, you know, like in a political aspect. And they wonder why pay-per-views and shit is losing money. Shit is crazy out here, man. Shit is just crazy out here in the streets. I'm going to be at Berto versus Porter, by the way, next week. I'm hyped for that. Right. What's going on with the tournament that Richard Schaefer is doing? You know, I checked their website here. Let's go check it out real quick. I checked their website. Every day. It was supposed to launch on March the 4th. It was supposed to launch on March the 4th, but it hasn't yet. You know? It's a $50 million tournament. They're supposed to have a draft in June. Where's it? Is this it? No, that's not it. Here it is. So Richard Schaefer, one of the Sutherland brothers, and some big media fat cats are starting this tournament. Let me read one. Let me read it to you. Basically, some key parts. Season 1 has a budget of $50 million to be distributed to participating boxers. The participating boxers are supposed to be within 2 weight classes. The top 15 of 2 weight classes between the WBC, WBO, IBF, and the WBA. So basically, to put things into perspective, no, let's not do that yet. Let me finish reading to you. The breakdown of prize money will be communicated before the start of each tournament, but will include bonuses for a win, so that fighters are not simply fighting for a purse, but always competing for a prize. In every round of the tournament, the highest bonus will be paid to the winner, the winning, and the final. Now, basically, you have 2 weight classes. 50 million are split. So one weight class is 25 million, the other weight class 25 million, of course. Now, the way it's going to be broken up is if you're fighting in the first round, you may only win like $1 million a fight. The winner gets $1 million. But then you may get a bonus of $100,000, if you score by a knockout or such and such. Now, when you get to the finals, you may win. The winner may get 10 million or something like that. So basically, they're making it so that that 25 million that's split up between 8 boxers. Between 8 boxers. Let me not confuse myself. There's going to be 8 boxers. 16 boxers. 8 fights. Kind of like a NBA tournament, basically. Between 2 weight divisions. Like that setup. Where there would be 4 fights in the first round. Or damn it, I'm confusing myself. 8 fights in the first round, 4 fights in the second round. In the third round, 2 fights, and the last fight, 1. But long story short, why do you get me talking about this? I'm confusing myself. That's not on the agenda. But I'm interested to see how that tournament's going to play in, because what networks are going to be involved, and also there's so much money involved. So we're waiting for more information to come out. There's supposed to be a televised draft in June. We don't know what weight division they're going to announce yet. So yeah, it's vague, but we know that it's big money, and it's supposed to be for 3 years. So it's $150 million over 3 years. And they're saying that it's open to all promoters. That's going to be interesting. And it's big money. It's big money. Yeah, it could be on national television, correct. So it's going to be interesting because Haymon fighters are going to be involved in it. I think Miller called out Luis Ortiz. Oh, who cares about that? Who cares about that? What's up with Big Baby Miller? He's still having some promotional issues the last I checked. Still having some promotional issues. Who you got? Errol Spence, Kell Brook. I get Kell Brook. And please respect my opinion. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it, Is that a crime? Oh yeah, here's a question, right? Now we're not gonna spend too much time on this, but let's talk about this, right? I did some controversial videos this week on the Broner Tank Davis Mayweather thing, but not to talk about it too much. But just tell me if I'm wrong or not, right? If somebody threatened to kill me in my direct messages, right, in my DMs, and I posted on Instagram or anywhere saying, "Look what this motherfucker did," that can be used against you or the person who sent it to me by a district attorney, whether I look at it as snitching or not, even if it's not, right? But it's like, even if you're not meaning to snitch, you tell it, and the streets are not gonna like look at it like, well, you didn't mean to do it. It's like your fucking message is the reason why he booked. So that's what I was saying. People thought I was like, oh, he a snitch without looking at it like, no, I wasn't looking at it. I'm looking at it like, well, even if you post some shit like that, it's like, yo, the district attorney don't care if you meant to do that or not. They don't care. Like, they looking at it like, oh shit, we got some dirt on him. Let's get him. Because you was being a dickhead. That's the way I was looking at it. So I know it's a controversial subject. What's up with Timothy Bradley? That's his wife. His wife is managing his career, so I think that of course she's not going to want to put him in like real tough fights to make it hurt. And I don't like when people just be throwing around like the term bipolar. I had a chick do that to me one time. 2 of them. You have a bad day. Oh, you bipolar. I don't like how people keep doing it to Broner. And more so, I don't like that like about mental health, period. I'm kind of like, like sensitive about that type of stuff. When people like don't understand like mental health and things like that. Motherfucker have a bad day. They say, oh, you're bipolar. Do you even know what that means? That's some serious shit. I don't like when people play around and like diagnose people and shit. That shit is weird. Broner do be on some shit though. He do be on some shit. And that shit he did with when he was like threatening to kill himself or some shit like that or whatever. That was some bullshit. There was some bullshit. Yeah, that's true. People do be thinking they be psychiatrists. I had this conversation with this chick I was dealing with months back. Where she was like, you must be fucking bipolar or something. And I was trying to explain to her, like, basically, a lot of y'all know my situation. I just started I started my website. I had to buy a house. I was going through some shit. I was having bad days. So I'm thinking like, who the fuck this chick think she is to myself? Like, you won't just diagnose me? Fuck you think you are? But yeah, there is people out here that really think like they just be knowing how to fucking, like tell motherfuckers like what they are and shit. I was on some nut ass shit though, but at the same time, it's like I wasn't gonna sit by and just let her just keep fucking throwing all these titles at me. So people been saying that a lot, about like Adrian Broner. It's like, oh, he's bipolar and everything, and it's like, yo, that's not cool. Motherfuckers think that shit is serious. People who be bipolar be really fucked up. Like, for real, they have real serious sadness. And the fucked up part about it is, in this world, people think that people with mental health are crazy. No, they just be sad. Like, sad as shit. So that shit's not nothing to mess around with. I don't like when people talk that shit. Mental health is not people crazy. They be really sad and messed up. You see Chavez Sr. call his son bipolar? Well, then that's his pop. He probably took him to the doctor when he was a kid. That's different, don't you think? That's a bit of a different situation. Nah, Ruslan got a new trainer, Joel Diaz. Yeah, he's with Joel Diaz now, right? Yeah, he is. Yeah. He got a new network and a new trainer. Yeah, Adam, some people get possessed by demons. Yeah, that shit is crazy. People be having real issues out here. Here's what I took from the Broner situation. He overreacted. He heard some shit had went down. So before he had talked to Floyd, he started snapping on Floyd. Then he went to holler at Floyd, or Floyd flew him out, or whatever the case may be, or he flew out. And then Floyd was like, yo, I ain't say that shit. Why you didn't call me before you start snapping out? So Floyd put him on the gram. You know, so that's what that's the gist of things. They also says mental health is some serious issues. No one wants to talk about it or get cured. Well, it's like this. You know, like if you have mental issues, you should get help. You know, but at the same time, you don't want to be one of those people that are going to get help just to be on medication and all that shit. You know, you don't want to be one of them people where they're putting you on these different pills and these different pills and these different pills. You want to try to find healthy, you know, methods, because that stuff can mess up the chemical balance in your brain and you get more fucked up. You don't want those type of problems. Tank must be confused as fuck. Yeah, I'll be confused too. Will Braun ever win a world title again? Unless Heyman find another WBA title for him to win? I don't think so. I don't think so. McDonough sent Floyd over to Broner over the edge. I don't think he's coming back. Yeah, unless Heyman find another title for him to win. We got to move on to the next boxing topic. Oh, to let you guys know, tomorrow I'm going to be covering the Ricky Burns and Dongo fight. Very, very big fight for you guys to watch. It's on a channel called AWE. Basically, if you got the Dish Network, you got AWE. But my fucking high-ass cable bill and my cable company, all the money I pay, we don't have the AWE channel. But luckily, I signed up for some shit several months ago. I just got to remember my password and stuff. It's on Cloud TV, but Cloud with a K is KLOWD. I know they take like $8 off my fucking card every month, you know, so you can watch it that way too. You know, so I'm going to be watching it. You know, but if you have the AWE network, I know if you have the Dish or if you have Direct TV, then you have it. Even Verizon, you have it. It's like a regular. It's like having the USA network or A&E or AMC or some shit like that. It's one of those type channels, you know. But if you have Comcast Xfinity, we don't have it. That's some weirdo shit. I'm gonna make sure I let Comcast know. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a chat with them tomorrow about the AWE channel. I'm gonna be one of them type of customers because I don't watch none of this shit. I be watching boxing and Game of Thrones and The Sopranos and The Wire. I got every channel unless it's why I don't watch none of this shit. Well, my pop do, so I can't say we're not using it. You can't say we're not using it, so it is being used, but still, I don't watch none of that shit. But my pop do watch all that shit, so I can't be bitching, I guess. But yeah, that got me mad, man. Yeah, I got Bounce TV, and my Bounce TV is not even high definition. It's the regular, like standard definition bouncer. You know, if you got a nice TV, I got a 4K TV. So therefore, it'd be extra nasty looking. It'd be extra nasty looking. Yeah, I love my internet. Thank God. My internet is the shit. My internet is the shit. My internet is the shit. So what's next on our list? Oh, Berto versus Porter. Once again, I'm going to be there. Sean Porter was talking some old crazy shit on a media call. He was talking about that he's going to try to box Berto. But yet, you know, Andre Berto has had problems with pressure fighters. For example, Luis Collazo, Victor Ortiz in the first fight, Robert Guerrero, Jesus Soto Carras, even Josecito Lopez was up on the cards before that very, well, I'm not going to say very, but somewhat controversial stoppage. But then Sean Porter being a pressure fighter, it's talking about something he's going to try to box him. Makes no sense to me. Makes no sense whatsoever. No? Yeah, Porter's relentless with the pressure, but he's talking about some boxing. What you go boxing for? How you go try to boxing? That makes no sense. It makes no sense. But this is kind of like Andre Berto's like last, hurrah. And somehow they made the winner of this, even though, listen to this controversy, even though Sean Porter fought a year ago when he fought Keith Thurman, and he lost. Andre Berto fought a year ago. Now, mind you, the key word in both of these is year. A year ago, both of them. 1-1, Berto beat Victor Ortiz. The other, Sean Porter, lost to Keith Thurman. But yet these guys are fighting to be the number one contender mandatory for Keith Thurman. How the hell that happened? Last I checked, beef was expensive. Last I checked, beef was expensive. Cat piss. They're killing cats in the basement, brother. They're killing cats in the basement, brother. How they get this title shot? How? How the hell that happened? He's like, last I checked, beef was expensive. How the hell they get that beef in Barclay? How do they pull that off? How do they get that beef in Barclay? That $3 beef in Barclay? This smell like cat piss. That's what this smell like. This smell like that cat piss. WBC rankings had Danny Garcia. No. Here's the thing. You can be ranked number one, but not be the mandatory. It doesn't work like that. You have to fight an eliminator. Just because you're ranked number one does not mean you're the mandatory. Let's say check beef was expensive. Cat piss. Killing cats in the basement, brother. Who's the mandatory then? There is no mandatory. That's why Berto and Porter are fighting to be the mandatory. Amir Khan is not the mandatory. Where y'all getting this shit from? I'm telling y'all that Berto versus Porter is going to be the mandatory. Where y'all getting this shit from? They're just making shit up. I thought they just fucking saying anything. Amir Khan ain't no damn mandatory. Danny Garcia ain't no mandatory. Just because you're ranked number one does not mean you're the mandatory. So for that to be another mandatory, that would mean that there would be somebody before Berto and Porter, which is nobody. It's nobody before Berto and Porter. That's why those two are fighting to be the mandatory. Amir Khan was the mandatory, but then Amir Khan got hurt. But that was a long while ago. That was a year ago. A year ago. 12 months plus, probably. Lamont Peterson is not the WBA mandatory yet. He's not Keith Thurman's mandatory yet. The WBA said they would order the fight, depending on what's going on with the Danny Garcia, depending on what's going on. I don't know the exact details, but he's not the mandatory yet. I don't want to get into, fuck around with this WBA shit, confusing myself. My advice to you is don't worry about the WBA because they're gonna confuse the shit out you. The WBA is weird. They weird. It's weird and it pisses me off. Did you smell alcohol on Angel's breath? No, Angel be cool. They got a thing. He know what he be doing. He know what he be doing. Angel cool. Like I told you before, I'm not one of the people like where, like I don't be just shoving cameras in people's face. Like I talk to him and I get to know him a little bit before, you know, I start recording and shit. You know, I just don't see somebody just walk up like, you know, like I build a rapport with people. That's why you notice like my interviews like are getting more and more relaxed with people. You know, because I want them to be themselves. I'm not going to make any more tea. So after this tea's over, we're going to be here for we're going to get off. You know, so we're going to be here for another 35 minutes or so. What's next on the list? Oh yeah, we're waiting for some Berto versus Porter. Smart money says Sean Porter, right? Because of remember, Andre Berto's 4 losses against, of course, Floyd Mayweather. He lost to Victor Ortiz in that first fight of the year at that point in time. He lost to Robert Guerrero. He lost to Soto Karash. Remember, one was involved steroid allegations or the failed drug test. The other involved an injured shoulder. Still, a loss is a loss. Remember, he was losing that Jose Tito Lopez fight. Now, understand, I'm still uncritical. And there's going to be some people like, oh, you just hating on Berto. But, yo, I'm saying facts. You know, I'm saying facts. So let's go through it again, right? Let's go through it chronological, right? He met Luis Collazo in a very, very tough fight, in a fight a lot of people felt he should have lost. His first loss was to Victor Ortiz. He was having some issues with James Zavek before James Zavek's eye got cut. He lost to Robert Guerrero, who was moving up in weight, had jumped over 2 weight divisions. Pressure fighter, who, by the way, was smothered in, just like Sean Porter's going to do, or supposed to do. He lost to Soto Karash. He fought Steve Upshur Chambers. Then he was having some problems with Jose Tito Lopez. Then he went on to fight Floyd Mayweather. Fought Victor Ortiz again. Got put down by Victor Ortiz, but still won the fight. So you see where I'm going with this? Sean Porter should be tailor-made. He should be tailor-made for Sean Porter. He should be tailor-made for Sean Porter. But yet Sean Porter is talking about boxing. You know? So if Berto beats Sean Porter, you gotta give Berto respect and credit because he overcame his demons. His demons have been pressure fighters. Porter could probably outbox him, but it's not the right game plan. The game plan is to go right at Andre Berto, go at him. Especially, you know, can Andre Berto fight a better fight than Keith Thurman? And Sean Porter was giving Keith Thurman hell. Berto beats Porter. That's a bold prediction. That's a bold prediction. You know, that's the type of prediction that wins people lots of money. What's the odds? Somebody go look at the odds real quick. I don't gamble. I don't really know how to read odds. How about Berto versus Collazo? We talked about that already. Berto was winning that fight, and Luis Collazo was back. That's put it this way. If here's the thing. I don't think at this stage in his career, if Berto was to lose to Porter, would he take that Collazo rematch? because it's high risk, low reward. Because then Berto will surely have to retire. You know how Heyman is. If Berto was to lose to Sean Porter, he's going to build him back up again. You know, so it's hard to say. Berto got a stupid uppercut. True. Yeah, the uppercut's not. And he's got a nice jab, too. Berto not 31. Berto like 33. Berto getting up there, yo. Especially the fact that he's been in wars. Remember, these wars he's been in are fights that he's lost. Great odds on Ndango tomorrow. Yeah, I can imagine, man. I like Ricky Burns too. This is a productive stream. See what happens when we don't start with music and shit? I told you guys I could do it. You think I just be wanting to bullshit around? Hell no. It's time to start making some money around this motherfucker. Shit. It's time to start getting shit popping again. So we're going to chill for another half an hour and talk boxing. What else did we go over everything with Berto versus Porter? I need some halls. That's the ultimate. Make a cup of tea. Instead of putting sugar, take 2 halls. But what you want to do is, it might boil, but don't fill the cup up all the way, I guess. Take 2 halls, put them in there, squeeze some lemon in there, you good. Don't use no sugar. You going to the fight. Yeah, I'm going to be at the fight next week. Canelo looks good. No homo. True, pause. Pause. Just get some Theraflu. Nah. That's medication. I mean, nah. Get out of here. I don't damn Theraflu. I'm not sick. That's it. I feel like I'm losing my voice. Sean is on a different level. Quick prediction for Pacquiao versus Horn. I'm going to watch some more. See, here's the thing. Pacquiao's not taking Jeff Horn seriously. And, you know, Pacquiao's getting up there. He should knock Jeff Horn the fuck out. But we said the same thing about Chris Algieri, right? It's too hard to say who will win between Robert Easter and Tank Davis. Is Ward choosing glove against gloves? Probably. But then again, if you're smart, when you drew up the contract, that stuff is already in the contract. Yeah, we're only going to stick around for another 13 minutes or so. I'm getting like really, really tired. I might not be able to play no video games tonight. I should block you for asking that question, Joseph Moore. You damn well know that I don't give a fuck. Yeah, Pacquiao versus Horn is done. Official. I watched Jeff Horn fights a couple of months ago. I watched Jeff Horn fights on Daily Motion the first time they said Pacquiao was going to fight Jeff Horn. And I watched his last fight live. On stream, I mean. You know, so I watched his fight. I just got to watch him again. I know his fighting style. It might be on a regular HBO. Not likely on pay-per-view. That's why they're relying on the money from Australia. It's relying on the money from Australia. Is he a big draw down in Australia? Now he is, because it's going to be the biggest boxing event ever in Australia. You got to think outside of the box. Manny Pacquiao is coming to Australia. They don't ever get no stars like that over there. That's just going to be Super K Super K lit over there. It's just my bedtime. Normally, I'm up at about 4 in the morning. I didn't take a nap today either. Yeah, it's way past my bed. Yeah, I've been up since 9 this morning. It's way past my bedtime. Even though I'm up at 4, I know, but today I slept late. Long story. But no, fuck no. That was yesterday. I was up at 9. Damn, I've been up for like 24 hours. It's no good. All right, so what's next on our list before I go? Like I've been up for a long time now. That's no good. No good. All right, so what's next on the list? We got 11 minutes left. Let's do a little Q&A. Any questions? Joshua versus Klitschko. The gloves are off comes on. That's the HBO Face Off with Johnny Nelson, the Sky Sports version, which are lit. They always lit. Even though this one may be extra polite because Klitschko's going to be polite, and then Joshua's going to be polite. You know, this is a fight, and you're going to come to fight, and that's just what it is because he's a legend. You know, so I'm not really looking forward to that gloves are off. It's going to be too polite. I want to see the gloves are when people spit in their face, or there's a little bit of push and pull, you know, or I want to see Derek Chisora get glassed, you know, or didn't who bit who? Didn't Derek Chisora bite Dylan White on a tit? Something like that, some old crazy shit. You know, you got Sky Sports Johnny Nelson screaming with his you notice his clothes is getting tighter and tighter on those shits. What is up with that, Johnny Nelson? What is up with that Sky Sports Johnny Nelson? Did you notice his clothes is getting tighter and tighter? You ain't right, bro. You don't sit right with me. I should watch some scary movies. Oh my goddamn self. Look, I'm looking rough. I'm gonna clean myself up for the fight. And get all fresh. All right, yeah. So yeah. Any questions for me before I go? We're gonna stick around for another 8 minutes. I'm gonna answer some of your questions before I bounce. I don't think the fight is being drug tested. It's supposed to be VADA. And on the media call, I was on a media call with Canelo earlier, even though they didn't let me get no questions in. What's my PayPal? Why are you sending me some snacks? It's tvann@yahoo.com. Tvan. Send me some snacks, bro. That's what I think I'm gonna do. Instead of I'm gonna take like donations for stuff like food, memorabilia. You know, like instead of taking money, I'm gonna take like donations for stuff. You know, that'll be what's up. Like if people can send me fucking like I'll just be doing a stream and people will say, yo, Tstreet, we can send you some beer. Of course you can send me money. Hell yeah. I'm not gonna ask for it. But I'll buy stuff for like the fucking show, I guess. But yeah, I do want to get like I'm gonna start running pot like contest. You know, I keep forgetting that I can get boxers to sign stuff and like give it away for like contests. You know, I'm not, as y'all know, I'm not into like autographs or taking pictures or nothing like that. So I can get like boxers to sign like stuff, and then I'll give it like, you know, like a way for like to you guys. You know, do like little contests. Why's my nose? It's my fucking beard hair is growing in my nose. That's no good. Also, I need help. You know, here, let me put my emails in the description box. Here is my work email for people who want to help cover fights. I really need help covering fights. Right? U360.com. Here's my PayPal for food, video games, electronics. But I seriously need help like covering fights. Here's my gamer tag. If anybody want to play some UFC after I get off, I'm gonna play some UFC. Wait, let me see real quick. 1 minute. I also got Battlefield 1. I got PS4 too, but my controller is not charging, and I'm too cheap to get a new controller. So basically, to play my PS4, I have to always have the USB plugged in. Let me see what my gamer tag is. I'm gonna put it in the description box. So after I get off here, yeah, there it is. It's TST. That's my gamer tag. I got UFC. What do you mean UFC 1 or 2? I got 2. Whatever the new one is. Also got some racing games. Whatever games you get for free every month. I don't play. I haven't played Battlefield in like a couple of months. I don't get to play my video games. Not as much as I used to. I may get in like one game on like 2K, like a week, maybe 2. But I got shit to do. Yeah, I don't like games. I don't like if I get a shooter game, I don't like games with people jumping around and jumping over me and flying and running on walls and shit. I like regular, good old fashioned weapons. You know? So I'm gonna holler at y'all later. How are you accessing AWE for the fight tomorrow? No, I'm not watching on AWE. I'm watching on Cloud TV. You can either watch on AWE or Cloud TV. Cloud TV is some subscription I signed up for months ago to watch the Glowacki-Usyk fight. And basically, I was supposed to cancel it, and now I remembered that I didn't cancel it, so I still have it. You know, it was one of those things that when you sign up, for free, and if you don't disconnect, that's what it's called, Cloud TV. And if you don't disconnect, they keep charging you every month. So each month, I keep forgetting, to cancel. So I'm like, oh shit, now I can fucking, Yeah, I remember that when I was watching the Usyk Glowacki fight, I was pissed off because the stream was all fucked up. Let's hope it's got better. Because that's what I'm relying on to watch the you know what? Let me see, because I haven't checked to see if Comcast had the AWE network in months now. I've been bitching and complaining. Xfinity AWE channel. Motherfuckers. Comcast used to have it in 2014. You motherfuckers. Piece of trash. On DirecTV, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, The fight is going to be on 387 on Verizon Fios. Verizon Fios is going to be on 669, and on AT&T Uverse is going to be on 1147. And you can watch it on Fire TV. Wait a minute. If you got Amazon Prime, do you have Fire shit? I gotta look into that. Yeah, my cat. Put it this way: I got Comcast, and I've had it for years. And I can't go nowhere else. I can't. I don't want to be nowhere else. Even though my bill be high as shit. My bill be high as fuck, man. And I'd be so sad when I get it. Be so sad. But I can't try anything else. But at the same time, like I said, I have no issues with my internet anywhere. And also the services that you get outside of your home with Comcast is just awesome. Like all the shit I have on my phone just by having Comcast. It's like I have no issues watching television anywhere. Like anywhere. Yeah, I just paid a $333 for 1 month, $748 for 2 months cable bill. But my cable bill is normally about $310 a month, something like that. Because there's always one pay-per-view normally mixed in there. And even me, my God, and he owed me a fight for this. I even brought the Roy Jones fight. That shit was $30. Roy owed me a fight for that alone. He owed me a scrap. He's got to get these hands. He's going to get these hands. But you got to think, like I have 2 phone lines. One is like for a fax machine. One is like a house phone. My father uses that. I got the highest of the high speed internet. I got this fucking shit, the security system. All these cameras and shit. So it's a lot of shit. We'll wrap it up in a couple of minutes. Fucking back is killing me. I set my little recliner. My drawers. Haters gonna hate, right? Y'all know haters gonna hate. Yeah, let me get a color printer. I bought this printer by mistake. I was rushing. Who buys a non-color printer? I bought this shit. I was rushing. Five View 360 hats are coming. 5 View 360 gear is coming. You think Heyman will step out of the shadows? Hell no, he ain't stepping out of the shadows. Heyman is not real, dog. Heyman is this old, shriveled up, 247-year-old man in this fucking machine thing. He this machine thing, and he hasn't breathed real air in 198 years. Yeah, he still got a Motorola flip phone, a Motorola Razor. He got a Razor with the piece, with the phone or the piece, the little snap, the one that you close the phone, snap. He got that shit. And he got to pay extra for it Because they be like, sir, we just don't want to carry the service for this phone anymore. Can you please upgrade to a smartphone? He'd be like, I'll pay you to keep this shit going. His phone charger don't even connect to his USB. He got to always plug his phone in the wall. He got to always plug his phone in the wall. He still got AOL Instant Messenger. All his fighters got to have AOL Instant Messenger. He got a T-Mobile Sidekick. Said he still got a two-way pager. Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. Leave Al Heyman alone. Thank you, Al Heyman. Thank you, Al Heyman. Yeah, he got those suits that look like they just been ironed too many times. Yeah, man, Al Heyman, cool dude. I froze up. He got these real big ass cold hands. You could tell he used to hoop. He could palm the rock. No lie, you could tell. You could tell he hoop. His suit's always on permanent press. Yeah, I met him. The video's up. I didn't get the video. I met him at Garcia was it Kano jury? Garcia Malignaggi. I was in the back doing the post-fight video for the Danny Jacobs Sergio Mora fight. And I was in the hallway, like next to the media room where they do the press conference. Because I was looking for somewhere quiet to do my post-fight video. So I was like looking in the back, and I was the only one back there, and he was back there with which one is it? Brandon Watson. I froze up. I was like, and I wanted to say thank you, but I froze. Shook his hand, and I realized it was all cold and bony. So like I said, you can tell you who, because I'm tall. I'm like 6'3". He's about the same height. Got these long ass arms, big ass hands. Like he just be like, ref, hey. Like he be like, get this shit out of here, Mac. Send that shit to the bleachers. Not in my house. Got that finger wag. Bye, yo. I'm out. I'll see you guys later. Deuces.